Chelsea. It's Bubba. How are you?
Hi, guys.
Hi,
Well, you get that early morning slut voice.
Yeah, I know. It's early morning here. It's in California.
I know. What some big-time seven-figure star like you getting up to talk to our dumbasses this early in the morning. What's going on with that?
That's the kind of girl I am.
You are. Spice, she is kind of a breath of fresh air within the Hollywood industry because she's kind of a guy. She's like kind of one of us a little bit, you know?
I am a little bit like a dude, but I have two giant melons on my chest.
That's true, and you're pretty tight body there too. I got to tell you,
promiscuous as well.
Thank you, yes, I'm very promiscuous.
Very promiscuous.
Yeah.
Dare I call you a whore?
No.
Well, no, I don't really get paid for it. I mean, I get paid for a lot of other
not
things.
A whore not a whore in a bad way, but like kind of slutty in bed, like when you finally are part of a relationship.
When I'm part of a relationship, am I slutty in bed?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
you gotta let it out.
Like dress up time, school girl stuff.
No. It's not. That's what you save for. I think probably down the road a little bit longer. I'm still in my 30s, so you're trying to keep it somewhat respectable.
How about when you and 50 Cent are together?
When we, I don't know. I'd have to ask him.
I mean,
I'd have to ask him because I can't remember any of those times.
I mean, lately you've been getting some great press. Like you every 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 days you strategically have something else that was the 50 Cent gimmick and
you got Twitter wars going on.
Are people still talking about me and 50 Cent?
Yeah. I mean, we're in Florida. We're quite a ways removed away from the coolness factor.
Yeah.
We're still.
No, that was never anything really.
We're talking about the fact that you have jungle fever.
Wait, the 50 Cent thing was never really anything. You guys, somebody just snapped a couple pictures of you guys getting cozy in New Orleans, and that was it. It wasn't like
there was like 20 of us in New Orleans. They just took that picture, and
right?
we were like alone, which was not the case.
Was it at least a makeout?
No. He's a friend of mine. There's nothing going on there.
Well, I'm just asking.
Well, I'm telling you. You asked me a question. You want me to know if I made out with him, and I told you that I just gave him a quick handy J.
Spice, let me tell you something. When you interview somebody that can give it right back at you, it's so refreshing. I love her. I do. I love her.
Well, she does give it to everybody, and which I appreciate.
I'm coming there to give it to you big time.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
You couldn't handle me, baby. Hey, Spice, go ahead, because I got a question for her that you guys don't have on my list that I totally got to get her opinion on. Go ahead, Spice.
Well, I was just going to ask, when it comes to the celebs and stuff, it's one of those things where you talk a lot of crap about people, much like a Kathy Griffin. So you piss people off. You piss certain celebs off at times.
She's hotter than Kathy
by talking some trash. Well, absolutely. But who's the celebs that, like, maybe you tried to book on your show and refused to even talk to you anymore?
You know what? Actually, it's gotten much easier. More celebrities do the show now than ever because I think they want to be part of like the group of people I'm not talking about. So it kind of works out better now. And in the beginning, it was hard to get people.
So you've actually like instilled sort of a fear in them. Like if you don't do the show, then you're going to be on my crap list.
No, I don't do that. I don't play those games. I just do what I do, and people who want, like, either they catch on or they don't. I'm not going to talk about people just because they're not on the show.
Well, I also think it's a cool factor, too. Everybody wants to be part of the next big thing, and you've been, your show's been hot. I don't know how the ratings look, but, I mean, the ratings are probably pretty damn good, and I got to think that, you're kind of the it factor right now a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, things are going pretty well. That's probably why I'm just going to screw it up by coming to Florida.
Yeah, you're going to completely, you're going to go from a classy chick that's in liberal California to complete white trash is what you're going to be. That's
I know, just for the weekend, though. I'll be back. I'll only be there for the weekend.
Yeah, you're going to end up back in California pregnant, barefoot, broke.
Yeah, smoking Marlboro, Newport. She'll pick up a Newport habit. She's going to pick up a Newport habit while she's here.
I always find it funny, like, do you travel with a large entourage, or what's your rider like for a comedy show?
Well, there's about usually 6 of us, but it's the opener. It's a couple people from the Live Nation concert promoters. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we have a plane and everything. It's pretty obnoxious. Hey,
actually, Spice, when Hogan was coming back, Hulk Hogan's a good friend of mine, Chelsea, and he was the best man at my wedding. Don't hold that against me, but they were actually...
I will hold that against you.
Well, hold on now. Hogan called me up one time all stressed out, Spice, because Brian Knobs, part of the Nasty Boys, a big fat blonde, that's what she'll remember him by. I guess they were all flying on the same flight one time, and was he being obnoxious or something like that,
No,
Chelsea?
It was his friend, that big guy. He was wearing those, like pantyhose that kind of stuck in your veins.
Yeah, and I guess he was just being so obnoxious. So Hogan called me, Spice, and said, "Brother, Chelsea, his handler's going to be really ripping Knobs a new ass because he made an ass out of himself." So, Chelsea, tell me the story, because I guess they were just this particular wrestler really pissed you off, and you actually went on the air with it.
Yeah, well, no, they were just really annoying throughout the whole flight, like just charging up and down the aisles. It was like wrestlers, right. Like they were at one of those stupid fake fights. So I just...
during mid-flight?
During mid-flight.
during the beginning of the flight.
Well, that is kind of idiotic.
I took a Lunesta, so I don't remember what happened after that.
She took a Lunesta. Took a Lunesta and had a cocktail. And she's like, you stupid-ass wrestlers, figure it out. So she was done. Where were you guys traveling? From where? New York to L.A.?
No, we were traveling from Australia to L.A.
What were you doing in Australia?
We were doing shows for a week in Australia for Chelsea Lately. We did a week of shows in Australia.
Oh, that's a pain in the ass trip too.
Oh God, how long a flight is that from?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, you just get up there, you start drinking, and then everybody goes to sleep, and you wake up and you're in Australia. It's actually not that bad. I think coming back is a little worse.
Chelsea Handler on the phone from Chelsea Handler in her e-show, and the bottom line is you can't get tickets for the early show. The 8 p.m. sold out, but the late show is not sold out, right, hon?
The late show, there's still tickets available. Second show, yeah.
Yeah, the 11 p.m. show. She's at the Tampa Bay Performing Arts Center, and that's happening this Saturday. So, Chelsea, what about Radar Online saying that there's this infamous sex tape starring you?
No, they announced there's no sex tape now.
So again, Florida, we're behind the times.
There's no. These aren't things that I'm strategically planning. These are things that people just constantly do.
When a rumor like that breaks out, are you ever going, well, gee, I don't think I had a sex tape, but wait a second, maybe I do. Like, were you ever at all worried?
You think about it, you're like, wait a second. But then no, I knew what they were talking about. It was like kind of a joke tape I made for this when I was doing stand-up. I made it like a joke tape of me and my boyfriend like pretending. I mean, we're clearly not having sex on the tape. Like we're laughing and at the camera, and it was like 13 seconds. So when they called me and asked me if I wanted to buy it for $1 million, I'm like, it's really not worth that much.
No.
Well, it just shows you how much of a star you're becoming, Chelsea. Because what was a joke tape now, you know, they just want it to be a sex tape. So now you can actually do a sex tape and get big money for it.
Yeah, but if I needed money, I would probably not do that anyway. But thank you for your advice. You sound like you should be like a manager of somebody's career. You've got amazing ideas.
I do. That's why I've been able to turn this crappy-ass little radio show into a huge empire. But thank you. You know what, Spice? She's on to something. That's how smart this woman is. I love her. Anyway, Chelsea, how about the Nick Cannon stuff? Everybody's talking about the big Twitter fight within Nick Cannon. I think the guy, I mean, hey, even though I have you on the air and I'm trying to pander to you, even if I didn't, I think the guy's a complete jerk-off. I hate the guy.
Why do you hate the guy?
Because I think that he's not talented enough to be in my industry to do mornings in New York. He screwed his way into the industry. Drumline was decent. What besides
Drumline was decent?
You guys have to do me a favor. Will you remind me who Nick Cannon is?
Nick Cannon is the jackass that's married to Mariah Carey. You know.
Oh.
Anyway, you guys have been in a Twitter war. He called you.
No, I tweeted one thing, and he then got into a war with himself.
Well,
I just said that I heard he was doing a comedy tour, and I was just curious who was doing the comedy.
You know what's funny, too, is these Twitter wars, like I've noticed you'll really only write one thing, but then these people will continue to blast you, and then for some reason everybody thinks they've won this infamous Twitter war because they Twittered more than you and you just chose not to respond. Is that the case?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to respond to somebody who's so stupid.
See, she's a typical woman, which it's ingenious.
I'm on to the next thing already.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he kept responding.
Yeah,
that's really... He's embarrassing.
I mean, she's like the typical woman, Spice. She throws you just a small little piece of ass
and let you work yourself into a shoe.
And it was a one-night stand for her, and she's moved on. But meanwhile, you're in love and you like her, and you want her to be your girlfriend because she's smart and got money, the whole 9 yards. And so Nick Cannon's having a fight amongst himself. He said some pretty crappy things about you, though. Have you seen that happen?
I'm not really worried about it. Well, people say things about me all the time.
I know, but let's put them to rest here, obviously. Spice.
Well, let's not put them to rest because I don't need to hear them. I'm supposed to have high self-esteem today. I have to go to my television show and tape a show. You can read them to yourself after we get off the phone.
Oh, see, I like that. Like
she has to have large